Here we are with another Flavor of the Month deck profile. That's right, Flavor of the Month deck profile has returned, and this time we are taking a look at the man himself, King Bumi Unleashed. So, what this powerful card does as a Avatar fan, and side note before I get into it, Bumi's like not one of my favorites, but it was one of the better pulls that I got out of the Avatar Collector Booster Box that I opened when the set drops. If you haven't seen it, shameless plug, go watch it after this video if you'd like. It was one of the better pulls with the Fire Lord Azula. So, with the other stuff, I felt like Bumi was the choice to make a commander deck out of for a show that I love. So, Bumi Unleashed is a 5-drop legendary human noble ally with trample. 5/4, when Bumi enters Earthbend 4, land becomes a creature with 4+1/+1 counters on it. When Bumi deals combat damage to a player, untap all lands you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Only land creatures can attack during that combat phase. So ideally, all your earthbended lands will attack. You'll be able to play more spells depending on how big your hand is. Those kind of things. So that's basically what we're here to do, is make lands into creatures by earthbending or other means and hit with them and hit with Bumi to hit again. So how do we achieve that? Basically, next we will break into, let me get the right section here, break into our creature cards, starting with, you need a little bit of ramp to get these things going. We kind of already know what that is. I'm just going to put that deck off to the side so you don't see too much more. Unlucky Cabbage Merchant is a 2-drop 2/2. When he enters, create a food token. When you sack a food, search your library for basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped. Bottom your Unlucky Cabbage Merchant, say my cabbages, and shuffle them away. So, easy ramp with some life game. Mr. Steve, secure a tribe elder. Sack Steve, search your library for basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. So, more ramp. We have Waker Root Elemental. Basically, this is a way to animate a land. 6-drop 5/5, and for 5 green mana, untap target land you control. It becomes a 5/5 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land. So, beefs up a land, makes it very, very stronger with base power 5/5. I don't really know how to pronounce it. Protector of Argoth. It's another 5-drop 5/3. When it enters the battlefield, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So essentially, you'll probably reach for a fetch or some other fetch type of land that's in here. Whenever a land you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, create a 5/3 green elemental creature token. So, say your earthbended land gets destroyed. Technically, it does hit the graveyard, then goes back to the battlefield. So this would grant you a 5/3 elemental, along with other land sacrificing if you have to, which you will. So, Llanowar Loam Speaker, another cool little mana dork. 1/3 for 2, not a mana of any color, but you can tap it, target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with haste until end of turn, still a land, and you activate it as a sorcery. So, it's a way to get another land creature, basically. We have our Fist Man here, 4/3 for 6, but for a green, target land becomes a 1/1 creature until end of turn. It's still a land, so another access to make your lands creatures. And for 5, creature control get +3/+3 and gain trample until end of turn. So you can really beef up your creatures and get trample if you need to. It's a way to enable trample. Is it slow? Yeah, it's very slow. But at the late game, it is a payoff, and it has helped me win a game or two, actually. As I've played this deck quite a few times since Avatar's release, it's just to the point where probably felt like showing it off, you know? We have a Mammoth here, 3-drop landfall. When it enters battlefield under your control, the Mammoth gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and the backside, it's a land. So if you're desperate and need a land, you can play the land. Avenger of Zendikar, now we've been into the landfall section of the deck, so 7-drop 5/5, Avenger of Zendikar enters battlefield, create a 0/1 plant. Creature token, landfall, land enters battlefield under control, put a 1/1 counter on each plant you control. So, pretty straightforward, pretty bomb card, but it belongs in here. Tireless Tracker, another landfall, land enters the battlefield, investigate, so create a clue. Whenever you sack a clue, put a +1/+1 counter on this permanent. Nice and simple, easy way for long card draw. On that, Focus of Rage, big old boy, 7-drop, 5/5. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 5/5 red and green elemental creature token onto the battlefield. When it or another elemental you control dies, on that deals 3 damage to any target. Kind of removal, but basically it's a landfall card, so it's in the landfall kind of deck. Tanuk, sure. 3-drop, 2/4, landfall. Whenever a land you control enters Tanuk, deals 1 damage to each opponent. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, draw a card. So, hopefully, little card draw engine for you if you're getting to play all the lands you need to, because, my god, sometimes you do need card draw. Then we have our little Chocobo here. 1-drop, 0/1, but whenever a land you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. So, hopefully, if you're getting this out turn 1 and you're kind of beefing it up, you'll have a nice body to swing with. Elf Swarm Giant, 5-drop, 5/3, reach, and landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. Straightforward. We have our World Sculptor, 6-drop, 5/5, enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each basic land you control. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under control, put 4/1 counters to target plant you control. So, kind of goes well with Avenger of Zendikar. I think they're both kind of like the same thing, but you can make your plants stronger. Kind of the same thing, but kind of not. And then whenever a land enters the battlefield, well, Spore Mound, an M14 uncommon, 5-drop, 3/3. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 green sapling creature token onto the battlefield. Some of these are just very straightforward, but very fun at the same time. So, Undergrowth Champion, love some Battle for Zendikar. 3-drop, 2/2. If damage will be dealt to Undergrowth Champion while it has a 1/1 counter on it, prevent the damage and remove a counter. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under control, put a counter on Undergrowth Champion. Again, straight freaking forward. Now we hit more, I think this is the utility section of creatures. So, Ramat Excavator. Play land cards from your graveyard. I mean, you'll have lands in your graveyard. It pretty much happens almost every game. Nyla, God of the Hunt, indestructible. Basically, it gives your creatures trample and a 6/6 and a pumper. It's basically in here for creature on a body enchantment, Garruk Uprising, but still, it's a fantastic card to have. Rebel Belt Raiders. It's a 4-drop, 3/3. When it attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it for each attacking creature you control. So again, it's a combat-focused deck, so hopefully you'll be swinging enough and taking advantage of Rebel Belt Raiders to make that happen. Then same thing, Thundering Raju kind of goes along with the same lines. It's a 4-drop, 3/3 with haste. When it attacks, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Then Thundering Raju deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of modified creatures you control other than Thundering Raju. So ideally, if you have a couple of different earthbended lands later into the game, haste the boy here, you'll be able to at least hit some damage to everybody. So hopefully. Then we're into the fun part. We have some benders in the deck, because why wouldn't you? Avatar Kyoshi, Earthbender, big old 8-drop, 6/6. During your turn, Avatar Kyoshi is hexproof. Beginning of combat on your turn, Earthbend 8, then tap that land. I wonder if this came from my Avatar Collector Booster opening. Might have. Toph the Blind Bandit, same thing. Earthbender, Earthbend 2. Toph's power equals the number of 1/1 counters on lands you control. So, if you have a lot of them, which hopefully you will, Toph is actually quite useful. Then the big hitter, everyone's favorite, Toth Earthbending Master, the like $40 card. Landfall, when a land enters the battlefield under control, get an experience counter. Whenever you attack, Earthbend X, where X is the number of experience counters you have. So, it's probably the best Earthbender out there. It's the best one that I have. So here it is in the deck. I mean, it has to be. It's an amazing card, amazing pull, and kind of why I said, screw it, let's just make a Bumi deck and you put these cards to use and have fun with them. So now we're on to the instant and sorcery section of this deck here. Let me try and pull them off screen. Taking my sweet time. I'm really close, I swear. I think we're there. We're almost there. Yeah. Cool. Alright, instants and sorceries. Cycle of Renewal, which is 3-drop, sack a land, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So again, like here, ramp, crop rotation, everyone's favorite, additional cast, sack a land, search your library for a land card on the battlefield, then shuffle. Amazing. That's why it's on the game changer. It's an amazing land tutor. Elemental Teachings, 5-drop, search your library for up to 4 land cards with different names and reveal them. An opponent chooses 2 of those cards, put the chosen cards into your graveyard and the rest on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So you can kind of basically choose all of your sack lands out with Elemental Teachings if you haven't gotten them so far, so that's kind of why I left this in here. Rolling Regrowth, sack a land, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, battlefield tap, shuffle. More ramp, more landfall. Swell of Growth, target creature gets +2/+2 on turn. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Again, like creature protection, make Bumi bigger if need be, and you get a land out of it. Awakening of Big Boy. That's what I'm going to say. It's a 5-drop. Put 9/1/1 counters on target land you control. It becomes legendary 0/0 elemental creature with haste named Vitu Gazi. It's still a land. That's what we're going to go with. Correct me if I'm wrong. I get it. Snakeskin Veil. 1-drop. Instant protection. Put a 1/1 counter target creature you control. Gains hexproof until end of turn. So, you might need to protect your Toph. Might need to protect your Bumi. That's what it's in here for. Then we have Fling. So say you have a big land and you just kind of want to kill somebody with it. That's kind of why Fling is here. So 2-drop, additional cast, sack creature. Fling deals damage equal to the sack creature to any target. That's why it's in here. And one of the awesome game changer kind of things that we have, Kamal's Will. It is a 4-drop. Choose one, but if you control your commander, choose both. Till end of turn, any number of target lands you control become a 1/1 elemental creatures with vigilance, indestructible, and haste. They're still lands. Choose target creature you don't control. Each creature you control deals damage equal to its power to that creature. So, ideally, you'll play this when you have a lot of lands and you're trying to close out a game with giving things indestructible, vigilance, and haste, because hopefully, you'll get your Bumi through with some various different ways. And then you can swing all your creatures out, get them untapped and do it again. So that's why this is pretty much for a land deck. This is the necessary card. Then let's get to our are we there? No, almost. Sorry, everybody. Our sorceries. So we're going to start at the front. Explore. More ramp. You may play additional land this turn. Draw a card. Scale the heights. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. You gain 2 life. You may play an additional land this turn. Draw a card. Straightforward. Ramping. Also very nice things. Kadama's Reach. It is a 3-drop. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put one in the battlefield tapped and the other in your hand. Then shuffle. Straightforward. World Soul's Rage. This is on the iffy part of it right now. World Soul's Rage deals X damage to any target. Put up to X land cards from your hand and or graveyard on the battlefield tapped. I've had this card a couple times, never gotten to use it to the point where it was effective. But hopefully if you're in the game late, you can do something with it, and which is why it's still here right now, just for potential, which, it has potential to pay off big. Size makes sense. 1-drop, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of lands you control. You may reveal a creature or land from among them, put it onto your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, little tutor up for cards, kind of. Felling Blow, good removal spell. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature control, then that creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. So, a little bit of removal if need be. Earth Rumble, we are in our Earthbending section, so for 4, Earthbend 2, when you do up to 1 target creature control, fights target creature and opponent control. So, Earthbending and removal on the same card, kind of nice. Bumi's Feast Lecture, our boy is back on a card. Create a food token, then Earthbend X, where X is twice the number of food you control. So, bare minimum, you have a food, and you're getting to Earthbend 2 off the card. That's kind of where it's coming from. Cracked Earth Technique is a 5-drop. Earthbend 3, then Earthbend 3, so you get to do it twice. You gain 3 life. Very simple. You need various ways to Earthbend, and this is one of them. Moving on to an Earthbending lesson. 4-drop, Earthbend 4. Straightforward, Earthbending. Taunting Challenge, this is kind of in here just because Bumi's on the card. Why not? It's a 3-drop sorcery. All creatures able to block target creature this turn do so. So, it's kind of a way to get your get your Bumi through if you need to just throw a chump blocker into something. And it has Bumi on the front, so might as well play a Bumi card. Then, this is kind of funny. Disrupt the Core, 4-drop, go to all creatures you don't control. So sometimes this has worked in the past where, you know, you're kind of in a stalemate, everyone's getting a big board, and you want to clear some things out. Go to everything. I've done it like twice, and it once it was effective, once it kind of powered up one of the other opponents, but it let, you know, shields are down. Like, you either have to do it or you have to deal with ways to make your creatures not attack. So in an attack-based deck, I felt like having other people attack is pretty necessary. Splendid Reclamation. Return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Nice and simple. Last Chance. So again, combat deck, you're kind of, say, scenario, you know, you're down in the end. You really want to pull it off. Last Chance for 2. Take an extra turn after this one. At the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. So you gotta win. It's a card that gives you an extra turn in red, but you have to win. So I think you're throwing in Last Chance is cool. We have our command for 6. Choose 2. Exile target player's graveyard. Gain 1 life for each card. Search your library for up to 2 land cards. Put them on battlefield. Tap, then shuffle. So landfall. Create 2/2 green bear creature tokens, or put 2 1/1 counters on each creature you control. Most likely you're going to pick search your library for lands and pump up your creatures. But if your life's low, it's kind of helpful for that too. And finally, another big game changer in the sorcery section. Sylvan Awakening. Until your next turn, all lands you control become 2/2 elemental creatures with reach, indestructible, and haste. They're still lands. So again, it doesn't have the vigilance keyword, but indestructible lands, making all of your lands indestructible and giving you a chance to swing out. You kind of have to take it sometimes. So this is in here for that specific reason. Some cards are here to win the game, and that is a way to win the game. Moving on to our enchantment section. So we have Druid class, another way to play additional lands, gain life, and it's good when you level up to 3. Target land you control becomes a creature with haste, power, and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. So you do, at the end of the day, get another big creature out of it, especially if you can earthbend them. Solid Ground for 4. When it enters, earthbend 3. If 1 or more 1/1 counters be put on a permanent you control, put that many +1, so strengthen your earthbending a little bit. Earthbender Ascension. When this permanent enters, earthbend 2, then search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. And it feeds into the landfall. Whenever land you control enters, put a quest counter on this. If it has 4 or more quest counters, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. It gains trample till end of turn. So, powering up with the Badgermole Cubs. No, that's a big Badgermole, but still. Fire Nation Conquest. So for 3, creatures you control get +1/+0. So a little bit of spread coverage for your creatures. Garruk's Uprising has to be in a combat deck for the most part. 3-drop, enters the battlefield. When you control a creature 4 or greater, draw a card. Get your creature's trample. Whenever you cast a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. So a little bit of card draw engine into it. Undergrowth Recon for 3-drop enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Say no more. Get the sacked lands out. Primeval Bounty, great landfall kind of card. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a 3/3 beast creature token on the battlefield. When you cast a non-creature spell, put 3 1/1 counters on target creature. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. So, pretty sweet. Now into our artifacts. So, everyone's classic Soul Ring into Arcane Signet. Don't really need to explain them. We kind of know what these cards do. This is another on the fringe cut candidate waiting for more earthbending cards. So our factory is a 3-drop, tap at a red with a charge counter. Then for 3, tap, sack the factory. You get a golem with a number of charge counters. So it's a mana rock that can be a payoff at the end. That's why it's in here now, but I would choose an earthbender over this. The Skullspore Nexus, great card, 8, but this spell costs X less to cast where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. When 1 or more non-token creatures die, create a green fungus dinosaur based on the base power of that creature, and then for 2, tap double target creature's power until end of turn. So it can make, your Bumi stronger, your Earthbender stronger, something stronger. Then a cool little Soul Cleaver. I like this equipment. In 1, equipped creature has Vigilance, and whenever another artifact or creature is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on equipped creature. So can make your guys stronger while also giving them Vigilance. I just think this is a great utility artifact. Same goes for Diamond Pickaxe, another way to create some treasures. Indestructible. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, has whenever the creature attacks, create a treasure token. So kind of gets you a little bit of ramp if you need it. And it's, again, just a small buff with a good treasure token payoff. So then we are into Planeswalkers. There are 2 of them. We have Garruk Unleashed for 4 with 4 loyalty. Up to 1 target creature gets +3/+3, gains trample end of turn. Again, a little nice buff. -2, create a 3/3 green beast creature token with, if an opponent controls more creatures than you do, put a loyalty counter on Garruk, so sometimes can help. You get an emblem with, at the beginning of your end step, you may search your library for a creature card, put on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So if it alts, you get a decent payoff with it as well. Next, Chandra, Torch of Defiance. I just love this card. I think it's really sweet. +1, exile the top card of your library. You may cast it. If you don't, Chandra deals 2 damage to each opponent. And then +1, add another 2 red mana if you choose that. -3, Chandra deals 4 damage to target creature, so removal. And then the emblem, whenever you cast a spell, this emblem deals 5 damage to any target. So if you pump it up and get her big enough, she can blow, basically. Then we're into the fun part, some lands. Your basic utility lands, Thriving Grove, Thriving Bluff. You enter, you choose a color other than red or green, so you choose the other color. Rugged Highlands, enters battlefield, gain a life, taps for both. Wooded Ridgeline, taps for both. Slag Bridge, kind of cool, enters battlefield tapped, but it's indestructible, so you earthbend it and you can just bop, bop, bop into people. Thornspire Verge, great, one of the good lands. If you control mountain or forest, it taps for green. Spire Garden, enters untapped, taps for both. Temple of Abandon, you can scry, but again, taps for both. Command Tower, taps for both. Restless Ridgeline becomes a creature, but it taps for both. So for 4, it becomes a 3/4 red-green dinosaur. And when it attacks, another attacking creature can get +2/+7 until end of turn. So another little Bumi buff if needed. Wooded Foothills. So we're into the sacrifice section. Tap, pay 1, sack Foothills, get a forest or mountain. Terramorphic Expanse, tap, get a basic. Evolving Wilds, tap, get a basic. Escape Tunnel, tap, get a basic. Or tap, target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn, but basically tap, get a basic. Mirrored Landscape, tap for colorless. 2, sack, get 2 basic lands. Rogue's Passage, fantastic card. 4, tap, Bumi can't be blocked this turn. That's pretty much who you always choose. And then we're into the basics. 10 forests, 10 shiny mountains. As you can tell, my lands are basics because basics are foil. I like foil basics. I'm trying to keep this deck together for a very long time, so I bling out the basic lands. And that's our Bumi here. So if you have any suggestions, thoughts, feedback, let me know. I wanted to make an Avatar deck. I bought the Avatar cards, love the Avatar show. And it's been a lot of fun to play with. I actually, this is what I made on Arena now too, just because it's fast, it's fun. If you haven't tried it and you want to give it a try, build something, jank, generic, and build it up from there, because untapping your lands is freaking fun. Like, let's be real, it's fun. So that's my Flavor of the Month deck profile for Bumi. Like I said, tell me what you think. Hopefully you play Bumi and have the same fun experience I do. But that's going to do it for this video. If you've made it this far, you're a legend. Thank you all so much. I'll give you one of the classic opening bell rings to exit. Can't thank you guys enough for watching the content. We've been growing steadily, and it's making me very happy, and I want to thank you all. So if you're at the end, I'm just going to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are the best, and I appreciate you so much. John__ I rolled the Spider-Man die for you. Bye.